All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Hold on.
Stop recording button.
Turn this volume down. Okay. Well, I'm going to go over some differences in cables today. Now, I have here a pretty standard cable, and I'm going to show you. Sorry, I'm the only person running my camera here, so it'll look a little chaotic. Here is a cable, pretty standard, something I got with my Marantz receiver. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen this IEC 13 power cable. Nothing too fancy about it. Okay. I don't know what gauge this is. Inside, I'm imagining somewhere in the neighborhood of 18, 16 gauge or something like that. To be honest with you, it doesn't seem to be too terribly. It's not terribly fancy. It's utilitarian, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. And I have been running my PS Audio with a cord here that blew my mind when I opened this up. I was shocked. Okay, let me. All right, hold on. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this, on the other hand, is a cable I got with my PS Audio. This is a much bigger cable. I'm going to go ahead and stick the other end up next to this so that you can see it. This thing is, it's pretty big. I mean, there's no denying that thing is absolutely massive. From what I understand, these are cables that came with the PS Audio. They were provided by Audio Quest, Monoprice, pardon me, as I understand it. So when you're looking at these, here's your little more standard type of a cable, and looking at the differences there, that is sick. I mean, look at how big the difference is in gauge between those two cables. That's absolutely insane. Now, this one I know because I started typing in the numbers on the actual wire jacket, and Google told me what wire this was. So regardless of whoever put the ends on it and made it their cable, put their name on it, and so on and so forth, it told me who the wire was made by. This is a 12 AWG, 12 gauge, American width gauge cable. It has a 60 centimeter jacketing. As you can see, it's a very high temperature jacket. I mean, this is just a cable. No joke, no crap, no kidding around. It's a big one. Now, let's go on to the next one, which is the cable I made the video for. This big bad boy here is Kimber Cable's Ascent PK10 power cable. Now, in looking at these three wires here, and let me try to get this other cable back up into the video here. Hey. Oh, back over there. All right. So in looking at these three cables, you look at those, oh, all right. That is a 10 gauge cable. Okay. Big, beautiful braiding there. On this end, you do have a bit of an expandable piece here. I'll show you on the other end of this connector. You have a kind of an expandable piece here with a little plastic adapter that can sit in there and wedge in there to make this wider so it will fit more and it won't kind of rock around when you plug it in. And I thought, oh, that's genius. That's great. What a utilitarian kind of thing to put in there. I thought that's cool. But just big, you know, healthy, robust cable. You know, just a big, beautiful piece by Kimber Cable here. As usual, Kimber Cable quality. You've got a beautiful braided jacket around the outside. We'll flip this over so that you can see the other end. And on this other side, you've got your beautiful gold plated ends here. Pretty typical for most people, gold plated. They don't plan on moving these around much. I'm going to do a little experimentation, but past that I'm going to keep these in place. I don't plan on moving them around. So you can get these in rhodium, which is a very tough ass metal. It has a basically a conductivity right around in between copper and gold. So it's not certainly higher than gold. It is about as good as gold, but gold will rub off of these connectors after a while if you're moving it around a lot. And so rhodium will not do that. The means by which you have to put rhodium onto a connector like this are insane. So the rhodium stays, but trust and believe that. But the gold will come back off. Gold is just soft. Rhodium, on the other hand, is not. It's pretty tough stuff. And as you can see, just a you know, again, I'm assuming there might be, I don't know what all's in this end. It doesn't feel heavy enough to be a ferrite beading. So a ferrite beading, that sounded like something you get if you've been naughty at the you know, cable manufacturing factory. But yeah, just a great cable. Huge, big, you know, capable of delivering a lot of those critical amps and all of that bandwidth that you need. So a beautiful cable. I love it. Figured I'd send you a video and let you see the differences. Again, let's hold this up here. And you know, just looking at that, between that and that 12 gauge, look at that. I mean, the 12 gauge has a lot of shielding, but this is still just a way bigger cable. You know, so very nice. And then of course you compare this to this other, you know, kind of standard thing you get with your receiver. And what can you expect? You know, what is who is this for? You know, this cable here. What you can expect is openness and clarity that you were not getting from a smaller gauge cable. I can tell you that. The cat's very verbal. I don't know what his problem is. Anyway, so you can expect openness, clarity, just a much better, easier, more flawless and effortless transfer of your electrical signal. You know, and that could be important if you're using something like a power plant or power conditioner. You want those signals to get from point A to point B, even if it's just the signals coming from the wall socket. That sounds kind of stupid, but the better the connection is, the better your power will be. And that does make a difference. It does. A lot of, you know, conditioners and things are working on your noise floor and total harmonic distortion. And it's better when the connection is strong and not kind of floppy or weak. And this definitely gives you the ability to connect that nice and strong to your wall. And like I said, openness is one thing I notice a lot when you have a better power cable. The sound stage tends to open up and things just kind of float off into the distance a lot more than they would before. You also get better dynamics, better pop and sizzles, and things that you just noticed were not quite standing out the way they were before, all of a sudden tend to kind of pop into the foreground in a way that they were not doing before. And that's just a couple of the things I can name you get from, obviously, as a benefit with a cable such as this. As compared to, of course, your standardized, you know, run-of-the-mill kind of, they provided it for me cable. Even something like this 12 gauges, is pretty beyond anything I've seen before. So that's, that's a good size cable with a lot of shielding. Shielding is important. You know, you have to have shielding to protect against the noise and just all of that stuff. Something like this, obviously, you're talking about much greater noise rejection, and obviously better throughput. You know, your electricity is just going to be effortless and clean. So, yeah, those are the things you can expect. This would be for the audiophile who wants to and can hear those things. If you're not someone who cares, then this isn't going to matter to you, and it's a lot of money. This was, a 300 and some odd dollar cable. So is this going to be important to everybody? No, it's not. But to those people it is important too. What does this provide? It provides a lot more for your buck. A lot more effortless. That means your equipment is not working harder to provide dynamics. With a receiver, especially, receivers are processors, and they're tuners, and they're amplifiers, and preamplifiers, and all this stuff. So obviously it's doing a lot of work, and that requires a lot of power being pulled through at certain times when dynamics are hitting hard, and so it needs more power, and it will pull harder. So a cable like this will allow that to happen, obviously more effortlessly, as I was mentioning, and increase dynamics and increase overall harmonic clarity. So it's really a great investment. Thank you guys for watching. Again, this is Kimber Cable's PK10 Ascent series power cable. I hope you enjoyed the video. You guys take it easy, and I'll see you in the next video. Click that like and subscribe button. Thank you.
Stop recording.